Page 17. Action, by Robert Ringer. Chapter 1. The Action Phenomenon. 1.2. The best day is today. There are two basic kinds of action. One is proaction, which puts you on the offensive, and all other this being equal gives you a great deal of control over events. The other Y reaction, which puts you on the defensive and relegates you to an inherent position of weakness. An interesting way of looking at an action is that it's really just a negative form of action, a sort of black hole of action that sucks energy away from you, much as the black holes of the universe pull matter into the deep recesses of their cosmic bowels. This is why an action often yields consequences by default. Nothing happens until something moves, so if you wait for something, or someone, to act on you, you likely will be unable to control the consequences. Homeostasis, a trait that all human beings possess to one extent or another, is, in psychological terms, the tendency to live with existing conditions and avoid change, which is ironic, because resistance to change deifies both the laws of nature and the laws of universe. The earth, the universe, and life itself are in a perpetual state of change, and so, too, is secular life. Weather changes, laws changes, the economy changes, the reins of power change, technology changes, and perhaps most significant of all, your age changes every second of your life. In addition, with the generation and dying of cells in our bodies, each of us is in a constant change physiologically, from birth to death. Homeostasis is the ultimate defense against taking action, which is why most people stubbornly resist change, particularly major change. Outwardly, of course, we fabricate excuses that attempt to justify why we aren't able to take action just yet, the most common one being that the times is not quite right now. Someday, we insist, when all the pieces of our lives fit perfectly together, we'll be in a better position to take action, change occupations, go back to college and get an engineering degree, get out of a bad marriage, start working on that big project we've thought about for years, move to the city of our dreams, or begin writing the novel that we've always believed would be a bestseller. The self-delusion of trying to disguise procrastination as a responsible attitude that is just waiting for the right time brings to mind a fascinating essay titled The Station, wherein the unknown author metaphorically describes all of us as being a mythical train of life, roiling relentlessly down the tracks toward the future. As we travel this train of life, we keep believing that just around the next bend, we're going to arrive at the station, a beautiful little red station's house that will signify the panacea moment when everything in our lives will be a big crowd cheering, flags will be waving, bands will be playing, and that's when all our troubles will vanish and we can finally take action. There's only one problem with this picture: it's a fantasy, a pure fantasy, because the reality is that there is no station. It doesn't exist. The perfect moment never quite arrives. There's always one more piece of the puzzle that has to fall into place before we're ready to take action. The truth of the matter is that, with few exceptions, the best day to take action is today. You can make a sales call today. You can start working on that important project today. You can begin to pick up the pieces and start a new life today. The issue isn't about today being the first day of the rest of your life. The real issue is that today could be the last day of the rest of your life. When people cling to the excuse that the time isn't quite right to move forward with a plan or change of one kind or another, it's often because they get caught up in the how of the situation. No one is omniscient. No one can foresee every problem and know, in advance, how to resolve it. The reality is that all start-ups are dysfunctional. What makes a person an entrepreneur is that he has the determination, perseverance, and resourcefulness to overcome the dysfunction of a new enterprise. Paul McCartney put it well when he asked in an interview how the Beatles got started. Said McCartney, "Nobody knows how to do it. You just start a band." In the same vein, people often fail to take action because they confuse the word hard with impossible. It's not impossible to change occupations right now, just hard. It's not impossible to move to another city right now, just hard. It's not impossible to terminate a bad love relationship right now, just hard. Heart is the very thing that gives value to an objective. Everything worth accomplishing is hard. If you waiting for everything to be just right before taking action, you are in possession of a foolproof excuse for failure. Don't fear change, embrace it as one of the most exciting aspects of life. Think of action as an opportunity to make mistakes, mistakes that give you a front row seat in the theater of learning. Carlos Castaneda explained it succinctly when he said, "A warrior lives by acting, not by thinking about acting, nor by thinking about what he will think when he has finished acting." Page 19.